Gomez, but regardless, hello.
Let's begin, shall we?
Hello there. Welcome in. Let us get started. As always, we're going to start off with our movie puzzle. We got 10 minutes on the clock to fill in as much of this as we can and get our streak restarted, because last time we didn't quite get there. Alright, Avengers Endgame, too many people in it. We'll come back to that one. Jackie Brown. So that's Pam Grier. Michael Keaton's in it. Samuel L. Jackson's in it. Some other people, but none of those fit. Michael Corleone. Alright, yeah, this one's Al Pacino. So we got one. Okay. From Dusk Till Dawn. Salma Hayek? Alright, I think the first one is Michael. Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and fill those in. Oscar winner for 1979. I don't know. Then A Beautiful Mind. We got Russell Crowe, Paul Bettany, Jennifer Connelly, and I don't know, someone with four letters in their first name. Oh, Paul. Bettbeny. Right? Something like that? I don't know. Alright, yeah, first name is Michael. Yay, we got it. The Iron Giant was voiced by Vin Diesel. I think it might be Michael Douglas. He might have double dipped on this one. I feel like that's kind of cheating. Grand Budapest Hotel. Owen Wilson. Becomes easier when we know the final answer. Paul Newman was in Road to Perdition. Oscar winner for 1978, Oscar winner for 1979. It doesn't matter. G. L. So this will be Mila Kunis. And this will be Barton Fink, Steve Buscemi. But as soon as we type the S, it's gonna finish it. Good job, team. I don't think we've had this one before, but we kind of ran right through it. Alright, so yeah, we were right about Steve Buscemi. Okay, Sally Field for 79 and Maggie Smith for 78. Melvin Douglas. I don't know. Oh, that's right. Bridget Fonda for Jackie Brown. And Jeremy Renner for Endgame. Alright. Now we know. I'm kind of curious who Melvin Douglas is. It sounds kind of familiar. Melvin Douglas. He was in HUD, which I have seen. He won 2 Oscars. Okay, so this one was for being there. And then he won one for HUD as well. I watched HUD not too long ago, actually. Not seen Being there, though. Alright. Yeah, we are going to move on to editing and stuff. So previously, we went through some edits near the end of the script that I wanted to resolve, so we did both of those, and we'll be going back through those again when we get to it. And then we started at the beginning of the movie and started going through line by line editing stuff. And we got through the first scene, and we are picking up on scene 2. And there's one thing I want to add in here. So when we get to the end, one of the things we changed last time was giving Margaret, or making Margaret make a choice between running away again and staying and standing up. So early on, I think we need to introduce quickly the idea of a conversation between Margaret and Helene about how they ended up both in this place. Right? Because if we introduce that early enough, it plants the seed, so when we get to the end, we complete the circle? Yeah. I was thinking square the circle, but that's not what that means. Alright, so yeah, the first scene is really just them meeting and we're going somewhere. And then I think in the second scene, I'm going to change the dialogue between them to what I was talking about. So when we get to the third scene, it's more of, here's the place we found, it's just us, and then things go wrong. So I think that's going to be the plan. So we're going to take that, put it over here. We need to get rid of that. Put it into our completed notes. And why is... I believe we need it to be black. Okay. Oh yeah, that should be further down there. Okay. So, yeah, we'll start at the beginning of this scene because we got a couple lines before we get into the dialogue, and then we're going to be rewriting the dialogue to include... I have an idea. We'll say. We'll see how well it works out. It might not. Alright. So at the end of the previous scene, we had Helene basically say, "Come with me," and then Helene extends her hand, and eager Margaret takes it, and then we move to exterior plains later. So away from the settlement, beyond a dense forest, Helene leads Margaret. Guess through would be more accurate. Through a sprawling grassland, through yeah, so I don't... We need to be more specific. Over. What about add an animal friend that talks? Well, we have the fox that comes in later and kind of talks. Also, hi Rad, hello. How are you doing? How has your weekend been? The witches are all foxes. Oh, I want tall grass. So I guess we just say through tall grass. Good, been watching some World Cup. Nice. I know Mariners has been very into the World Cup stuff, and I see a bunch of it through, like when I'm scrolling through Instagram, but not really all that into it. But hope whoever your team is doing well. Never really paid attention to soccer, but it's been fun to watch. Cool. That is large area of flatland with few trees. Let's change this. Exterior grassland later. Away from the settlement, beyond a dense forest, Helene leads Margaret through tall grass swaying in the wind. Right, so it's clear that they're no longer in the settlement, and behind them we see kind of a forest, so that's cutting them off from the settlement beyond, and they're moving through tall grass. Right. Helene pulls Margaret close, kisses her, passionate. Alright, and then there's stuff I want to change. Yeah, I've been thinking about this conversation like all day, and I still haven't figured out the best way. Quite the right way to go about it. So we're just going to try some stuff and see if any of it works. Silas. Hi, hello. How are you doing? Welcome in. How's your weekend going? Waking up, didn't sleep enough, big headache. Oof. Does not sound fun. Um, Doing alright. This weekend has been kind of rough. Um, Somehow I tweaked something in my neck, and so, yeah, anytime I move my head, it is, quite uncomfortable. So, that's been fun, especially when trying to sleep. But it's been getting better, it's just kind of slow. Yeah, fun part about being old, sometimes you just wake up and your neck is completely messed up, so yay.
Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me?
Book. Hi, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? How's your weekend going? And thank you for the 3-month resub. It's been 3 months. Yeah, wow. Been going for a while. Uh, the writing is going. We're just kind of starting up still. There's something in an early scene I wanted to include, so I have to do a bit of rewriting. But I think I got it good enough, so should be doing all right. But yeah, not looking forward to tomorrow having to go back to the office, but at least this upcoming week is a short week. I require food, but also need a shower. Yep. I always go food first, then shower, just in case. Is there a better word for when someone likes an idea? Kind of, maybe intrigued, but not quite. Well, I have no groceries, so I need to go out. Fair. That is fair. Yeah, we're just gonna say intrigued until I can think of a better word. Then we can delete that. Okay. Alright, let's reread the scene we just rewrote to see if it's what we want. Alright, so we have Margaret and Helene were in their settlement, and then we pick up with them exterior grasslands later in 1627. Away from the settlement or their settlement? The settlement's fine. Away from the settlement, beyond a dense forest, Helene leads Margaret through tall grass swaying in the wind. Helene pulls Margaret close, kisses her, passionate. Margaret. Mariners! Hi, hello. How are you doing?
I like this one.
When I was setting up my stream, I opened Twitch and I saw you were writing, so I clicked on your stream and saw you were in the same software I'm in. So I was like, ooh, nice. But yeah, hi, hello, welcome in. Yeah, how was stream? How are all the raiders? Naughty Dog, hi, hello. World of Woolcraft, hi, hello. The eccentric Craven? Liv, hey, I recognize them. How are you doing? How's everyone's weekend, if it's still weekend for you? I think Liv's in the future and it's already Monday. First screenplay writing session today, copying you. Fair enough. I forgot Major is out of town, so I have to do the mod stuff. Oh, nope. Yeah, it actually has me listed as a raider from your chat as well, because I might have been lurking in there. Alright, what did I miss? Just about still the weekend. Yeah, we got a little bit of time left in the weekend, so trying to not think too much about tomorrow. Chat, no mods? No! Don't make me have to bust out, like, shield mode or something. It's Monday, yes, rainy, but the weekend was good. Went to a book launch, talked with some writer friends, and had a lovely Sunday roast lunch. Nice. Yeah, I lurked, listened to the Saturday show with you and Yoon. Yeah, that was really interesting. Why not think about tomorrow? Tomorrow is my book club meet. Nice. Tomorrow for me is just Monday, so nothing too exciting. I very much prefer the weekends when I don't have to go into the office. Yep, one of IRL friends launching her second book. Nice. And it was really well. Nice. That's awesome. The only part of TSS I was able to watch was the part where you turned into a bird. Yeah. Yeah, the Saturday show is quite something. Yoon is now a bird. Yeah, apparently. All right. Yeah, welcome in, Raiders. For those of you who don't know, I'm 54. I am also a writer of the screenplay stuff. And we are currently editing our stream project. So we're on the second scene overall. I had to write a quick conversation to add some stuff that I wanted. I want to plant some seeds early on, so when we get to the end, they can get paid off. And so, yeah, that's one of the reasons, especially I like making sure I get through a full draft before I go back and start editing everything. Because now that I know the end, I know the main decision our protagonist makes and their point and their moment of doubt, and so now I can start putting in seeds for that all along the way. So that's what I wanted to do with this scene, so we kind of rewrote a little bit of it. Hooray, exposition. Not necessarily exposition, just planting some seeds. Free bookmark. I absolutely bought my own copy and got her to sign it, although I did get access to the ARC to read for a free a while back. Oh, okay. I see what he's saying. All right. Yeah, so I was starting to read through the scene when the raid happened, so I'm going to go back to the start of the scene and start reading through it, and just hopefully it reads the way that I want it to and not too clunky. But we will see. Yeah, so the first scene was just Helene and Margaret meeting in their settlement. So we're on to scene 2. We're exterior grasslands later in 1627. Away from the settlement, beyond a dense forest, Helene leads Margaret through tall grass swaying in the wind. Helene pulls Margaret close, kisses her, passionate. Margaret, how am I so fortunate that I found you? Helene, what do you mean? Margaret, I had to cross the ocean? Cross an ocean. Will Helene ever say sacre bleu? I don't think so. I know Major is a fan of that phrase. I want to see exactly what it means. Because there were a couple that I wanted to... What the f... It just means sacre bleu. So we do have Allons-y in the end of the first scene. Blue bee soccer scene. Yeah. So I don't know why it's not translating it. Means holy blue. I don't know. We currently don't have it.
Sacré bleu.
Sacre bleu.
The English pronunciation versus the French. Because we use it as an actual thing in English now, I guess. Yeah. No, we currently do not have her saying that. I don't know if there's a good place to say it. What does Sakblue mean in English? Translates to holy blue. Functions as a mild exclamation of surprise. As in, oh my gosh, or good grief. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if there's a good place for her to use that. But if we're editing and there is a good place, we can. I didn't pay much attention in French lessons. Yeah, I took Spanish in high school. Literally get around blasphemy because it sounded like God, good French peeps. Less intense, more like a murmured exclamation of surprise disbelief. Okay. Yeah, if it was Margaret leading Helene to the secret lake that they find, maybe we could have used it there, but it's Helene leading Margaret there, so it wouldn't make sense for her to exclaim. I don't know. God in French, Dieu, if you didn't know. I know in Latin it's Deus. Yeah. And they're all based on Latin, so it's always going to be something close to that. Anyway. Margaret, I had to cross an ocean to this new world to find you. Helene, and I crossed an ocean to find you. Should there be a break there? Sacre bleu cheese. Oh, we are going off the rails already, aren't we, chat? Mon Dieu is my God in French, also used as an exclamation, but it would have to be very blasphemous back in the day. Yeah. Yeah, no, no, I'm probably German for us. Okay. Not like Latin. Should we condense this down? Hey, it's proper English, that. Maybe we can move this up here. Lead. Old Germanic, I think, maybe Dutch. Hey, the French created... What? Enough said. Same root could be, yeah. What do you mean? I feel like I've been running my whole life. I had to cross an ocean to this new world, but it led me to you. So maybe Helene just goes... No. We had a good stream though. Steve was discussing cremating dead people in water. Not sure how that works. Not sure I want to know how that works. Eco-friendly, apparently. Okay. No, it's fine. All right. So we don't need any of that. Mariners went on a racist tirade about Eastern Europeans with parallel. Yes. Naughty Dog was kidding. I is like halfway through reading that, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's kidding, but just to make sure everyone's clear. Just saying, cooking a lamb shank without the gravy. We also debated whether or not you throw or drop flowers onto coffins. Suggest throw, insinuates you need 20 feet, like a QV. Well, it depends on the position of the person relative to the coffin. Because if the coffin is below them and you don't put any forward fours, then it'd be dropping. But I guess you could be like tossing. Throw might be a little much. I'd say toss or drop would be the two verbs that I could see. Like if you're tossing it out or if you're dropping it down. Perhaps lamb shanks are a UK thing. Yeah, they're also kind of a fancier cooking thing and high intelligence stuff in Australia. Exactly. Eating flowers into graves. US doesn't have a thing for lamb like we do in UK, Australia. We didn't like to use toss. Yeah. All right, let's get rid of that. Yeah, isn't tosser an insult in the UK? Exactly. So tossing flowers into a grave might be rude if you're right. Yeah. Let's ask the word hippo. To throw or no. So throw, no, hurl, no, fling, cast maybe? Cast flowers onto a coffin. Launch, no. Pitch, lob might be a close enough synonym that it could work. Chuck, no. Sling, no. Heave, no. Isn't it a way to say someone peels his... What? Never mind. Let's just move on. Could say they bish.
Bish.
All right. That is not what I see that word used for online. Toss is probably still the right word if you're implying nonchalant. Like, yeah, I agree with Liv. All right, yeah, I feel like that's we took out some lines, so I feel like that's probably cleaner. So how am I so fortunate that I found you? What do you mean? I feel like I've been running my whole life, had to cross an ocean to this new world, but it led me to you. Clean asks, what were you running from? Avoiding, Margaret shakes her head. Instead says, maybe here with you I won't have to run anymore. Intrigued, Helene takes Margaret's hand and leads her on to I apologize for the degeneracy. No, that's fine. I am used to it over here. So you're all good, mariners. We placed flower. Yeah, placed is another good one. But I would say that implies I don't know. But she was cremated, you know, the traditional way. She says that up here. No, that's kind of different. We might switch this to some more French. Français.
Que veux-tu dire? True. I love French, but my God, it's hard to. Yeah. Um, I'm starting to pick up more. Like I said, I took Spanish in high school, so I was only ever okay with it, but they do have some similar words and structures and things, so that helps. And then watching a lot of French movies, you start picking up certain stuff. What do you mean? Like the Justin Bieber song? Who's Justin Bieber? Uh, when I go, I want to go in my sleep like my granddad, not screaming in fear like the passengers in his car. Yeah, my dad has used that one quite a few times before Naughty Dog. I knew where that one was going pretty early on. You know, I was fired for smiling once. They're never going to hire me as a hearse driver again. Sounds like the opening lines to a novel. Gonna add an extra beat in here. I don't intend taking this long to get through every scene. It's just this one I had to rewrite, so I'm trying to write it, then immediately edit it to make sure that it flows the way that I want it to. I once opened a novel my mom was reading years ago. The opening line seared into my brain. He loved to watch fat women dance. All right, Liv. Enjoy your lurk. Do what you gotta do. Take care of yourself. And then we can actually... Oh no, what did we have this as before? Sorry, I'm gonna go grab a drink. Alright, well, do what you gotta do. Eager, Helene takes Margaret's hand, leads her along to... Okay. Shot. Alright, I think we're good with scene 2. Moving on. Scene 3. Exterior, beach, lake. Later, 1627. Yeah, I think that's probably correct. Good job, Naughty Dog. Didn't use the vowel to the left of O there. I'm just gonna assume that's something. So it would be called a dune, correct? Yeah. So, coming over a dune, Helene lets go of Margaret's hand and rushes ahead. Margaret, what are you? Reaching the top of the dune, Margaret pauses, looking out over. Pristine beach leading. Oof. Jodorowsky's Dune or Lynch's Dune? I've only seen one of those, so I'd have to go with Lynch's, but I've heard Jodorowsky's is interesting. Looks out over. or sands dune. So I think we might just take that out. Pristine beach, giving way. Stretching to the horizon. Jodorowsky's never got made, but the documentary, yeah, that's what I have heard. Work in the AM, so off. So that's off. Oh, okay. The shots stuff. So, climbing over a dune, Helene lets go of Margaret's hand, rushes ahead. Margaret, what are you? And then reaching the top of the dune, Margaret pauses, looking out over pristine beach, giving way to clear blue water stretching to the horizon. Much cleaner. Helene glances back to Margaret. I have Pepsi Max instead and a bag of Kettle Crisps that I forgot I had. Sounds like a solid evening snack. Helene glances back to Margaret, awaiting a response. Say this ever stream, but I like your shirt. What do we got today? Oh, yeah. This one's cool. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Sorry. Should not have moved my arms like that. Okay, I swear. It's better than it was. It's still not 100%, clearly. Sweet chili and sour cream flavor. That does sound pretty good for chips. Crisps, sorry. So I feel like I might want to switch that.
I like this one.
Whoa, thanks for the follow. Flame grilled steak or Thai sweet chili for me. Oh yeah, Thai sweet chili. America has the most boring chip flavors. Went in an Asian market and they literally had chicken feet flavored Lay's. Croatia chips are unbelievable. So I'm not sure awaiting is the correct word there. I'm now hungry. Thanks, Wool. DM to potential sub badge. Let me know. Oh, for Mariners. Anticipate. I feel like it's closer to like she's curious. She wants to see her reaction. Must be all that water cremation. Seeking a response. Yeah, kind of. So kind of maybe eager for her response, eager for her reaction. Been in Australia most of the last 30 years, but tried the Christmas lunch flavor. They worked well enough. Oligarch. Yeah. Eagerly awaiting the scenario. Yeah. Eager to see a reaction. Helene glances back to Margaret. Yeah, I feel like that probably works. We do have eager right there, though. Cannon! Hi, hello. Welcome in. So we can just change one of those. Yeah, I was thinking of changing the first one to enthusiastic. I think that's right. Ah, so close. Enthusiastic, Helene takes Margaret's hand, leads her along to the beach. All right. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? We are doing all right, as long as I don't move my arms too much. So this is a longer scene, isn't it? Yeah. We have a lot happen in this scene, so scroll back too far. All right. We are just over an hour into stream, so I'm going to take a quick break. I will throw up some words on stream for y'all to play, and I'm going to step away for a quick minute and refill my water and such. Yeah. I'm disappearing. Words on stream. I choose you. All right. It's going to throw up letters. You type the words into chat, and you have to wait for the timer. Sorry, Naughty Dog, you have to wait for the timer. Alright, be good, have fun, I'll be back shortly.
I'm back.
Well done, chat. We beat both levels. Let's see, Naughty Dog with the hard carry, getting the gold. I swooped in the last minute, got the silver. just beating out Cannon, then Mariners, and we'll help it out. Stupid gate, anyway. Rector, I don't even know her. Glad my camera isn't on for that one. Hi, hello, I have returned. Alright, let us get back to hopefully get through scenes 3 at least. It's going a little slower, but just trying to go slow, make sure we get everything the way we want it. Alright. So, eager to see her reaction, Helene glances back to Margaret. Margaret, awestruck. She can't find the words. Helene motions Margaret. Helene motions Margaret near. Margaret saunters ahead. What the f... Those were tough scrambles. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when I throw it up, like I'll glance and see if anything comes to mind immediately. Yeah, not a lot of obvious words. Had to dig deep for tote. Alright, here's a question. Did shoes in the 1600 have laces? Yes, shoes in the 1600s often had laces. Good to know, though they were not the only method of fastening footwear. Depending on the style, social class, and purpose of the shoe, 17th century Europeans relied America. Yeah, shoes in the 17th century America, late the 1600s, did have laces. Okay, yes, they had shoelaces. I don't know if they wore socks, but not what I'm on. And reopen, close tab. Did 1600 America wear socks? Serious question, why do people wear white socks? I don't know. Though they were typically referred to as stockings or hose rather than short ankle lengths, they were knee-high. So we'll change it. Helene kneels, unlaces and removes her shoes, then her stockings. So I don't want to say she just walks ahead, but... Captivated. Alright, so we have Margaret hits the top of the hill. She's awestruck. Ears hear reaction. Helene glances back. And then Helene kneels down, unlaces, removes her shoes and her stockings as Margaret ambles ahead, captivated. Yeah, I feel like that's cleaner. Makes it easier to pair if all your socks are the same color. Yeah, all my socks are black, so I don't know why people wear white socks, Mariners. Black could become gray. You would need a lot of washes to turn black socks gray. Margaret ambles to the shoreline, captivated. How did you find this? White could become anything. Not if you only wash it with what? Yeah. I always toss my socks in my cold colored wash stuff, so it helps preserve the color. All of Mariner's clothes are light blue. Do you guys wear clothes? Nudity mentioned. Yoon shows up. Hi, hello. How are you doing? How's the rest of your weekend been? That's why I wear socks once, then throw them into the fire. Oh, geez. Been lurking for a while now? Well, I hope you've enjoyed your lurk. Surprised you didn't get someone by socks. Um, Separating items for separate washes. If I'd have known we were going to be posh, I'd have worn a tie. I toss stuff into my laundry basket. The right-hand side is all the stuff with color that I wash with cold, and then on the left-hand side is all the other stuff. Wear white. I wear white socks because I can buy 50 of them for $20. Yeah. One of the pro wrestlers wears a shirt on TV one time and never wears it on TV again. Yeah. Not wrong. Which one am I not shocked? You watch wrestling but not movies. Forgot a word in there. It's okay. I sometimes forget words. So, alright. Helene kneels, unlaces and removes her shoes, then her stockings. Margaret ambles to the shoreline, captivated. Margaret, how did you find this? Helene,
I was looking for a place we could be alone. I found it for you. Helene unties and removes her dress, then strides past Margaret into the water. Oh yeah, that fella. I do not own a laundry basket. It's something I need to get when I'm... Yeah. Yeah, probably. Margaret, startled. What are you doing? Helene dives, I guess, into the water, then reemerges. Carefree. There's no one here. Uneasy, Margaret looks around, searching for any signs of other people. Uneasy, Margaret. Feel like I don't need both of those. Just uneasy, Margaret searches. For any signs. Nah, maybe just looks around searching. Uneasy, Margaret looks around searching. Yeah. Okay. IKEA's fantastic. I bought my dinner set from them. I actually bought most of my furniture from IKEA when I first moved out here because I was like, oh yeah, I'll just replace it in a couple years. Been out here 10 years now, still the same stuff. I'll get on replacing it maybe in the next 10 years. Helene, it is just us. That's right. Helene should not use... Yeah, Helene should not use conjunctions. So I don't know what my ex is letting me take. I need a whole bedroom, dining room, kitchenware set at least, a fridge. My apartment came with a fridge, so I didn't have to deal with that one. Writer Direct is actually really... Yeah, like I said, it has everything in it that I look for, so yeah, I like using it. There's no one here. Uneasy, Margaret looks around, searching. Helene, it is just us. Helene looks to Margaret, luring, but Margaret is apprehensive. Helene looks to Margaret, luring, but Margaret is apprehensive. It's late. We should... Helene, I know the way back. Seems like we should... It is early still. Come and feel the water.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll figure it out when I complete, get the keys, see what the owner left, see what I need, see what the exit let me take, then off to IKEA. Yeah. Surely still. Can't feel the water. Relenting, Margaret. Saved up like 4K, so I should be able to kit out the house pretty well. Yeah. Is early still. Okay. Or 4 World Cup ticket. Yeah. I just want my office with my ultra wide screen back so I can multitask productively again. Mark glances around. Then Margaret glances around, relenting. Is relenting the right word? Think I'd step foot in America in the year 2026, bruh. It's the best thing about screenwriting, you can just say, X says Y. None of the X says with Y. With a drawn out sigh, whilst tossing their long blonde hair back before tickling the donkey behind his left ear. Not yeah. It is so much more straightforward. It is conveying what you see on the screen. That's all you need to do in the most concise way possible. If you do need a hand with any of the planning, some of that stuff, just give me a shout. I'll try to. Oh, okay, with the relenting work. Okay. If by that you mean she just gives in and says, okay, I'm swimming, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I needed to add an extra beat of her kind of hesitating. I meant for the writing, should have clarified. I am no
Homes under the hammer? Oh. Okay. Okay, so then... Choose like have seen stuff, first draft. Oh, okay. Alright, so hesitant, Margaret glances around, then her eyes settle on Helene. Alright, yeah, I felt like I needed an extra beat of Margaret hesitating before she goes to join Helene. Still, it is early still, swim with me, hesitant. Margaret glances around, then her eyes settle on Helene. Relenting, Margaret kneels down, comma, unlaces her shoes. A distant branch snaps. Margaret halts. I feel like we don't need that last part, just Margaret halts. And then her saying, "Did you hear that?" Relenting, Margaret kneels down, unlaces her shoes. A distant branch snaps. Margaret halts. Margaret, did you hear that? Helene, Margaret. Margaret stands, searching. Margaret stands, searching for the source of the distant sound. I'll be right back. Margaret marches across the sand. Over the dune. I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but you do you. Talking about a show I've never heard of, so. Margaret stands searching for the source of the distant sound. I'll be right back. Margaret marches across the sand, over the dune. Helene. Margaret! Annoyed, Helene swims back to the beach. feel like annexing the water is redundant. Holmes Under the Hammer is quintessentially British daytime show of genius. Tracks that I have not seen it. Over the Dune. I guess I should say out of Helene's sight for clarity. Margaret marches across the sand, over the dune, out of Helene's sight. So I guess it's a questioning exclamation. I never use exclamation points. Do not like exclamation points unless they are warranted. Annoyed, Helene swims back to the beach, replaces her dress. Helene searches. Helene searches the surrounding tree line. Really? Tree line's 2 words? Okay. But sees nothing of Margaret. Clip clop. Hearing distant horses. Yeah, we don't need that. Just distant horses charge. Helene searches the surrounding tree line, but sees nothing of Margaret. Clip clop. Distant horses charge. Helene shifts her focus to find half a dozen hunters approaching. The hunters are all white males in their 20s or 30s. They all wear black: boots, pants, shirts, jackets, and masks. Each carries a saber. The hunters are all white males in their 20s or 30s. Oh, okay. Okay, so Homes Under the Hammer, people buy a property at auction, renovate it, see how much they add to the value after, is directly responsible for housing crisis, and we see today in the rash of second home owning dickheads. It's also hilariously unrealistic. Okay. Good synopsis. The hunters are all white males in their 20s or 30s, dressed in all black: boots, pants, shirts, jackets, and masks. Cloaks instead of jackets. Because it's summertime, I feel like cloaks would be... And each carries a saber. Yeah, I feel like that is accurate for who the hunters are. Alarmed, Lean's eyes widen. She scans for somewhere to hide, but she's stuck in the open. Okay, but out in the open, she has nowhere to run. I sell necklaces made from seashells I find on the beach, and my husband is a bonsai tree salesman. Our budget is 450K. Whew. So it's like a reality show, not a scripted show? Or is this something else? Alarmed, Helene's eyes widen. She scans for somewhere to hide, but she's out in the open. But out in the open, she has nowhere to run. But, yeah. I have she's too many times. But out in the open, she has nowhere to run. Hey, we made it through scene 3. Whoop. It's presented as a factual show, but to be honest, I don't think that's factual. Okay. So it's more like what they would call a mockumentary. I don't know. Something I have on in the background. Yeah, that's what I do with a lot of Gordon Ramsay shows. Like, I can sit down and watch them, or I can go do other stuff, and like, yeah. It's more like reality, but not. Yeah, I think it probably falls into the mockumentary ish. Adjacent, we'll say. Exterior, forest, same. It's raw. Raw! Like a serious kind of Storage Wars. Interesting. Peering out from behind a tree. From the tree line. So I think we switch these and start with out the edge at the edge of the forest, peering out from behind a tree. Margaret spots the hunters nearing Helene. Alarmed, all she can do is watch. What are you, an idiot sandwich? Oh, no, that's the response. What are you? I'm gonna switch that to terrified. Alright. Exterior, forest, same. So this is happening at the same time, but a different location. At the edge of the forest, peering out from behind a tree, Margaret spots the hunters nearing Helene. Terrified, all she can do is watch. Good. Hell's Kitchen was gold. Missed that show. Yeah, I never watched it when it was live, so I did rewatch all of it, because it was all free up on Tubi. Love Gordon, he's such a ball. Yeah, I had a very different impression of him before I started watching all of his shows, but I definitely have quite a bit of respect for seeing what he does and how he does it. And he's not just like yelling at people for fun, like there's a reason behind it. You say you're not an actor.
Could have been a footballer. Yeah. I like to show restaurant rehab or yeah, that's the one I've been rewatching. There were two of them. I don't remember what the other one was called, but the one I'm almost finished with is like Hell on Wheels, 24 hours. Yeah, Kitchen Nightmares. And then Kitchen Nightmares, 24 hours, whatever. I've been watching those. Yeah, they are really funny. The only thing is, like, watching them all back to back, you see kind of how formulaic they are, and like they are cut almost identical episode to episode. Rebecca, hi, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? How's your weekend going? Turns up, dude hates him, refuses. Yeah, and then like on like the reopening, there's always like one issue they have. He goes outside, talks to the camera real quick, and is like, I think I can turn this around, but I'm not sure. The whole thing might fall apart. And then he goes in, fixes it, saves the day. Been trying to catch one of your streams, Yunsu, but never seem to wake up in time. So behind on my 30K and 30-day target. Oh, all the writing goals. Yeah, the VODs. Watch the VODs. You can see all the chaos and mayhem is captured in the VODs. Alright, then we are exterior beach. Yeah, we can probably get through this. Mounted on horseback, the hunters encircle Helene. And we're back to scene because we cut away with the same time, so we are just back to this. Yes, the chaos and mayhem. What? Did I miss something? Oh, okay. Oh, that must be the Jeremy Kyle. I thought that was a different conversation. Alright, mounted on horseback, the hunters encircle Helene. One of the hunters retrieves an emerald glass lens, holds it up. I feel like that is something that is important that will come back later, so we should highlight it. Yeah, Jeremy Kyle. Okay. Basically our version of Jerry Springer, but more stupid. Or Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil is probably the better. Actually, I don't know because I don't know who he is. Did you know Jerry Springer was once the mayor of Cincinnati? Before his TV career, I believe. I feel like I can just say a hunter. Mounted on horseback, the hunters encircle Helene. A hunter retrieves an emerald glass lens, holds it up to their eye, and looks over Helene. Jerry Springer is also trash too. Yeah, definitely. Kyle never tried to help anyone. He just stood there shouting at people for being pregnant and not being... What?
So some politicians go into acting, some actors go into politics. Seems legit. Lying for a living. Used to be big in the 90s. I wish it ended in the 90s and we didn't have any reality TV stars as politicians currently. I think Yoon and I were on the same thought path there. Train of thought. That's the thing. Thought on a train. Jerry Springer was designed for inciting drama. Dr. Phil is more the Oprah sense, where drama happens, but it's because they're pushing emotional buttons for. Yeah, I don't speak about it on stream, but I totally agree. Yeah. Yeah, I know you have a no discussing politics on your stream. On mine, I'm more okay with it so long as it doesn't get too far afield. Mariners redeemed puzzle time. Alright, I guess that's all the writing we're getting for today. What puzzle would you like to finish upstream with, Mariners? We could do Redactyl, we could do Rattle, or we could do Time Guesser, or one of the other movie ones. We have not done Fill the Grid today. Average Jeremy Kyle show was my one night stand resulted in me being pregnant. The lad thinks but he's actually someone else's. The lad is either really invested in the kid or not, and then they have DNA tests. And he shouts at it. Okay. Alright, we're doing Fill in the Grid. We did Star Wars already. We got it correct, so let's go Fill the Grid. So for anyone who has not played this before, we have 3 movies horizontally and 3 vertically. Where they intersect, you need to guess an actor that was in both movies. So for the Grand Budapest Hotel and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, we could go Jason Schwartzman. Not a World Cup version you can do? No. That one I would be relying completely on chat for. Oh, damn. Because if it was the Avengers Endgame, this could be Brie Larson because she was also in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. But it's not, so we'll go Chris Evans. Tropic Thunder. Hawkeye's actor for the Avengers and Mission Impossible. Okay, Jeremy Renner. Tropic Thunder and Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise. Sorry, trying to keep an eye on chat and on the puzzle. Okay, got that. Yeah, Jeremy Renner is correct. Yeah. And then Tropic Thunder and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I actually don't know off top. Michael Cera, Tropic Thunder. He was in Tropic Thunder? We're about to find out. Nope. He was the producer? No? I don't remember. Well, Tom Cruise, Matthew McConaughey was the agent. Tom Cruise was the studio head. Sylvie! Hi, hello. Welcome in. How are you doing?
We are working on filling the grid. So this one could be Gwyneth Paltrow for the Royal Tenenbaums and the Avengers. Ben Stiller for the Royal Tenenbaums and Tropic Thunder. Bill Hader was on screen for Tropic Thunder in a voiceover. They love using him because he's always has like random voice stuff. Yeah, that. Yeah, because I was going through everyone who was in Scott Pilgrim vs. World and just couldn't pick anyone. Alright, so we got 2 left for... Well, I mean, Grand Budapest and Royal Tenenbaums, there's going to be a lot of crossover, so we can just go with... What's his name? Bill Murray? Bill Nye? Oh, no, you're... And then... Grand Budapest Hotel and Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Was Alec Baldwin in both? Or no? Was Ray Fiennes in both? Because I know Ray Fiennes was in Grand Budapest Hotel. I don't know if he was in Ghost Protocol. I don't remember which one that is. I don't think Simon Pegg was in Grand Budapest Hotel. Don't think Jeremy Renner was. We're gonna guess Alec Baldwin. Ugh, rip. I don't know about this last one. Because I do not watch the the Mission Impossible movies. Grand Budapest Hotel, I think I saw it once. Oh, Léa Seydoux. It was. GG. Isn't that the guy who shot someone? What? Well done. Yeah, we only got 2 wrong, or 2 incorrect guesses. But I know Michael Cera was definitely in Scott Pilgrim, and I know Alec Baldwin was definitely in Mission Impossible, so... Alec Baldwin, yes, he did. We did it! I'm surprised, I knew 2 of them. Nice. Yes, Alec Baldwin, while on set, yeah, he did shoot and kill the cinematography on a movie he was working on. That was tough. I do know Mission Impossible, but not Grand Budapest. Yeah. And like some of they like using Wes Anderson movies in these because they just have very big casts with a lot of overlap and different stuff. So we have Grand Budapest and Royal Tenenbaums are both from him, so that made it very easy for the Bill Murray guess. But yeah, we got there. GG's team. We played 9, we got 100% success rate, mainly because this one doesn't have a timer on it. If this one had a 10-minute timer, it could be a little tougher, but we got there. All right, we are just over 2 hours. So we made some progress. We got through scene 4. So we are part of our kind of inciting action here, but we will pick it up next time. Let me disappear. And we will take a look and see who else is streaming that we can raid over to. Looks like Liv's streaming. I'm guessing we want to go raid over there. Did I write that right? Nope. I think that's right. Hey, we got it right. Oh, I don't think I gave... My mod is on vacation, so I have to remember to do the shoutouts and stuff, and I don't always remember, so... Late shoutout, but yeah. Like I said, I will be back on Tuesday for the next stream. We will continue editing and yeah, doing improving and writing and editing and stuff. So, thanks again to everyone who stopped by, hung out, lurked, chatted, all the stuff, all the things. I appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's it. Have a good start to your week. I will be back soon and hope to see y'all then.
Thanks for checking out my channel. Do whatever you want. Live your life. Hope you're happy in your body. Much love to you. And see you around.